Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun, Hong Kong, where we are investigating a serial killer. And yes, instead of going for what was probably going to be a combat-heavy mission, I went for the detective one first, because people are dying. And besides, I like the detective ones. Ip's the muscle and has an encyclopedic knowledge of cyber and bioware. Definitely a good guy to have watching your back. Not too friendly, but you know how it is. You get a lot of cyber, people start wondering you'll tear their arms off. Zippy makes a chopping gesture with one hand. He's got moves straight out of Blood Carnival 3, The Reckoning. Terrible movie, but great fight choreography. And what about Tang? I don't know much about him, but I think he's got some kind of fetish for automation. Found him cooing over some trids with automated delivery drones in a warehouse once. He works with drones, has a shop called the Blessed Autofab. He was raving about the efficiency of the movement patterns or something. You already know about Tang, ran Sims, BTL, skill chips. Gan used to be a city planner before he had a nervous breakdown and got involved in statistical analysis. Zippy pauses to collect his thoughts. Nakamura came from Fukuoka and was interested in entertainment, trid mostly, spent a lot of time analyzing subliminals and ads. Then there was Magpie, she was the chief decker, hot as hell against ice. Built her own hardware, salty old woman though. Never met anyone who was quite as shrill or nasty when she was mad. She was mad most of the time. Wait, nobody mentioned Magpie to me. When did she die? She didn't. Maybe a month ago she just up and disappeared. I went to her shop one day and she just wasn't open. Nobody's seen her since. Kind of pain in the ass too. She owed me some new analyze software she picked up. I'd never heard of Magpie either. She must be one of the newer Wampoans. If she was a decker, she would have replaced Elder Gao. No surprise there. Gao was older than King Shi Huangdi's terracotta warriors. When I was to any Chinese people of Chinese background listening to this, I apologize terribly for mispronouncing things. When I was learning decking from him, he could barely get out of bed. Didn't you call it? Wasn't Gao a her last time? I would just go with it. Gender fluid. He could barely get out of bed. Still fast as hell in the Matrix, though. How can you be new and an elder? Elder is just a term for leader. I guess this is for the people that don't know that. Isabella rolls her eyes. It's a stupid name. It doesn't actually have much to do with time spent in the community. That has something to do with it, sure. But it's mostly about how skilled you are, how good your connections are, and how much you can help everybody else. You should have called them experts or something. The elder thing goes back a long way, and it's a lot of communities, not just Asia. But bingo! That's it exactly. She was only here for about 3 years, but she knew a lot of people all over the Matrix. Shanghai, Beijing, all kinds of places. That's a plus. That plus her skill meant she was a shoo-in when Gao died. Where do you think she went? No idea. One day she was here, and the next, poof. First I thought she was just on vacation since she had mentioned wanting to see the Kingdom of Hawaii someday. It didn't feel right. She would have at least told me she was leaving. It seems mighty suspicious to me. Nobody else seems to care what happened to her, probably because she pissed them all off so bad. A little odd for her to just disappear, don't you think? Of course it's odd. She owed me lunch, too, and she was the sort who paid her debts promptly. You might want to check out her shop. It's all locked up, but the other elders have a spare key. Couldn't hurt to look around. Even though Magpie was always butting heads with the other elders, they wouldn't have any reason not to let you in. What do you mean they were butting heads? Magpie and the others never saw eye to eye. She was contrary for the sake of it. Most of the rest had a grand vision for what they wanted this neighborhood to become. Magpie just wanted the deck. She was only elder because they needed someone with their matrix chops. The last big argument was between her, Ip, and Nakamura. It was over something relatively trivial. I think Nakamura wanted to expand the pirate trade business into the Matrix, and she just absolutely refused. Why did she refuse? She said something about not using up valuable bandwidth for trivial entertainment bullshit. Anyway, it went from there into this rant about how she wasn't going to let Tang expand his drone business any further because it would get too much megacore attention. They accused her of blocking them just because she could, which is probably true. Lots of screaming. What do you mean blocking them? Everybody needs her matrix skills for their businesses to run properly. There are other deckers, me, say, or Mo, Net, Gen... Net, oh, that's a combination I can't read. But she had the infrastructure. If their project didn't interest her, she wouldn't give them the time of day. She's a real hard head about having her time wasted, but she figures if she's not interested in something, it has no value objectively. Kind of a major blind spot, if you ask me. Sounds like she was critical. Yes and no. She was, but since she disappeared, Elder Ip's taken over running the Matrix infrastructure. He's not as good at it as she was, but his experience with drones makes him the best candidate. They wouldn't entrust something like that to anyone who wasn't an Elder, so there you go. See you later, Zippy. Okay, get the keys to the shop. Let's talk to you, Porter Lab. Anything else? Need something else? What do you do around here, Porter? It's a catch-all category, I guess. I work for Elder Ip. It's a bit like being a deputy. I make sure people don't break the rules. Protect people who need protecting. Mostly I just do whatever Ip asks me to. It's a pretty quiet job most days. Today's not one of those days. I also handle a lot of maintenance. I don't actually do the repairs. But I've got most of the keys. It makes it easy to ensure only authorized people get into sensitive places. Electricity goes down, I let the electrician in who fixes the wiring. Toilet's clogged, I let in the drone guy who opens it back up. It looks like somebody went through Tang's things. Has anyone else been inside? Not since I've been here, but before Ip found him? Could have been anybody, really. Ip had a key to his place, but the lock's total crap. Anybody half decent at cracking mag locks could have gotten inside. What's missing? BTLs, hard drives, cred sticks are all missing. Sounds like the killer looted his place to me. All this talk of monsters. Yeah, sure, there are scary things that go bump in the night. But most of the scary bumps I hear are from handguns and gangers. Can you tell me about Elder Magpie? When Wampoen snorts, shrugging his shoulders. That she was a bitch? That I've never met anyone as deliberately contrary as her. There's not much to say. Nobody wanted to hang out with Magpie, even though she was the newest Elder. She acted high and mighty around everyone. She'd block deals and argue against Nakamura and Ing just because she could. Why was she so contrary? It was just her nature. She loved fights and gossip, and any chance to cut somebody else down, she'd take it. I guess I always figured she'd had some deep-seated insecurities and covered it up by attacking other people. See you later. Okay, is anybody else here have a little exclamation, a talkie balloon over their head? Y'all don't. That's Gobbit. Oh, is there something over here? Oh, there's a lot over here. The streets are dangerous lately. Posing troll stands in front of a stall overflowing with weapons of all sorts. Pistols, rifles, even brass knuckles overflow onto the ground. Ho there, you look like a woman who understands the value of self-defense. Breaker Hui, at your service, and I can promise you I can help you defend yourself. What do you say? Want to take a look? I'm more interested in what information. I don't have money right now anyway. Yeah, tell me what you want. Maybe I can help you out. What are your impressions of the Wampoen elders? Can't say I associate with them much with them. They organize big trade deals like with the Loho Jowa pirates, the triads, legitimate businesses. They tell us if somebody's been blacklisted, dispense justice when someone breaks the rules. Beyond that, they leave us alone. I leave them alone. I'm just not important enough to register on their radar. Know anything about Elder Magpie? Never met her, thank God. She ran with the Deckers mostly, since she dealt in chips and software. I heard she was hard to work with. I think the phrase I overheard was that she shrieked like a harpy with a fresh corpse. I don't know. You should ask Zippy, though. He's a sharp one with the deck, so he'd know her better than most. Aside from Tang, who slings the BTLs around here? The Red Spear Gang. They run up in here sometimes, but don't cause any trouble. Check out the parking garage south of here, though. They usually hole up in there. Step light, though. If they don't know you and you cop an attitude, they'll put you in the ground. Funny thing, though, I heard there was a shootout with some Hong Kong police in the garage a month ago. I was in Beijing at the time, so I didn't see it directly. But everyone was talking about it when I got back. Why is that funny? Because we don't let the HKPF in here most times. We shoot at them if they try. Every time they come in here, it's bad for us because they're always looking for a scapegoat. Why would the elders let them in? Nobody knows. Know anything about the murders? Just that the elders have been getting hacked apart. I tried to stay away from it all. No sense painting the crosshairs on my own forehead, right? Troll shrugs indifferently. I'm nobody important. I aim to keep it that way. See you later. You're going to be another merchant, aren't you? Oh, you're a decker. Oh, that's why I'm confused. That was not a Chinese word. That was an African language. Can't identify it. I still can't pronounce it. But it explains why I was completely confused as to why there was a J and an N next to each other. The man in front of this stall is rooting through a box of music chips with swift fingers of someone who knows what they're looking for. Behind him, a music player pumping out a constant stream of distorted atonal music. The stall's proprietor is nowhere to be seen. Can you believe this? They've got 4 bootlegs of Echelon 60, the unreleased Inoshi Ian keys, double chip show from Brazzaville, and absolutely 0 trips from Shotgun Blue. This stall's pure stuff is purely second rate. Hey man, don't get down on Echelon 60. I saw them when they played that iLicense show at the old Choco Tart factory out in Suinwan. That show was amazing, even if the police had to break it up midway through the second set. Music aficionado waves his hand dismissively. The show might have been great, but come on, Echelon 60's old news. They've already been mainstreamed. I saw a Trid ad for the new Mitsubishi Ostro scooter, and they were using Main Volt Under Bus as the backing music. Made me sad, I tell you. You're a hipster! You're a Shadowrun hipster! The Decker I knew them before they were popular! The Decker inclines his head politely toward you. Moj Nebi at your... Janebi? I have no idea. I apologize to whoever, whatever language that's from. At your service, Decker, technologist and music fan. Though you're not around from here, are you? You don't hold yourself like a native. Not Wimpo Garden, no. Mo runs a hand through his hair, shaking the collected rain off of it. Thought so. What brings you out here? Trying to find out who's been killing the elders. Oh, that's nasty business. I heard Tang died tonight. I don't know who or what they pissed off, but seems like a really bad scene. I'm trying to keep my nose out of it. Still, I like this place. Is there anything I can do to help? What can you tell me about the Wampoans? We're a collection of freaks, geeks, nerds, tech junkies. This place may look like a third world bazaar, but believe me, we have stuff here that's cutting edge in almost every field. Mo swells with pride and plants both hands firmly on his hips. Maybe it's not as advanced as the stuff the Megas have in their development labs, but it's as advanced as anything you can find in a store. People come from all over the world to buy and sell here, and work out deals for big shipments. We've got contacts with every pirated smuggling group in the South China Sea. Every major syndicate and gang in the Free Enterprise Zone knows not to mess with us. Not only are there a lot of us, nobody wants to lose what we're selling. Business makes peace. Trade makes peace. When someone's a trading partner, that makes sure you have a vested interest together. There are other problems that come out of it, but there are worse ones. The Red Dragon made a play 4 years ago, but we chased him out. Mo gestures with both hands as if shooing away a bothersome insect. Scooted off back to Homan Tin, and they've never been back. That's good for you. That's how you survive. It's all about playing the angles. Yeah, it pissed him off, but we sold goods to Leo Lotus at a discount. But then we sold goods to Leo Lotus at a discount. In exchange, Leo Lotus kept them off our back. You don't have to beat up the big guy to win. You just have to make him step back so the other big guy sees he's off balance. Stand-up fights are for the megas. We're about survival, just like everybody else in the shadows. What's your area of expertise? I'm a decker. I used to be a company man for years, pushing code on the service, smearing the little cyber pukes that would try to get into our secure systems. I made a pretty good living, had my own place on the 48th floor in a corporate skyscraper. It was the kind of thing the Sims teach you everybody reaches for, the dream life. Yeah, it would be pretty luxury-filled. How'd you end up here? I found out the company wasn't what I thought it was. Sure, they paid me well and kept me in creature comforts, but I accidentally looked over some misfiled reports while cleaning out the company data store. Turns out one of the company's security riggers had gotten drunk and blabbed about some project or other being over budget, behind schedule. That's not good. It'd be a fireable offense, right? Mo purses his lips, his gaze going distant for a moment. Well, I guess upper management was worried that info would hurt their stock ratings by a fraction of a point or two, so they fired the guy with a 30-08 round right through the skull. That seems drastic. You spent years in a corporate private prison without jury or paperwork or anything. You know that. You should have known that's how the corporations handle problems. Well, I sure as hell know it now. You get a wake-up call like that, it'll really open your eyes. It may only have been a fractions of a point, but that was still tens of millions of new yen. I guess that went beyond a firing offense directly into a murder territory. What's worse, since I now knew about both the project and the murder, I could be next in the firing line. I knew I wasn't worth the expense to hunt down as long as I get my head down, so I came out here looking for like-minded deckers. I guess I ended up staying because I could get a semblance of community out here and I couldn't get that many other places. Know anything about the murders? I'm trying to stay as far away from it as possible. I'm not connected enough to hear anything important, and all the talk about monsters is just plain dark. Is that supposed to be Drek? I'm not afraid of monsters, but I don't want to get their attention. All I know is that a couple of months ago we had elders Nakamura, Yatunde, Gan, and Magpie, and now we don't. I've heard about Magpie. Sounds like she was kind of vicious. To be blunt, she's a hateful, shrewish old badger of a person. It was always her way or the highway. She'd butt heads with the other elders over damn near anything. The last fight she had was Tang over something or other. I guess she ended up throwing some of his micro-drones into the deep fryer and threatening to kick his ass around the block. What was her line of business? Matrix gear. Her shop's called the Jack Point. Not very imaginative, I know. She always had the hottest programs, best chips, made some killer decks for anybody willing to pay her rates. Cost plenty of new yen, but she was one of the best in the business, at least in Hong Kong. If you want to know any more about her, you should talk to Zippy. He's one of the only people around here who got along with Magpie. You can probably find him by the MTR station. He loves the steamed bun carnivore. See you later, bro. Okay, so he wasn't just hanging around looking at the murder scene. That's his place where he hangs out. So we could go in here. This dumpy-looking man is busily hawking a variety of grilled spherical treats of various sizes. Some are sold individually, some are skewered in sticks, some are packaged up in sets of 4 or 6. The sign on the front of the cart reads, Keita's 1 yen yatai. A cacophony of small trid screens are attached to the cart, each playing a different trid show. Interest you in some dango, takoyaki, maybe a nice nikuman, that's pork bun, a Japanese twist. Any kind of tasty Japanese treat you can imagine, I've got it. Maybe some curry fish rolls are your speed. Keita will give you your heart's desire, providing that desire is on my menu. Oh, let me have some dango. Your wish is my command. Good ma'am. Thank you for the $1 out of your woefully depleted funds. Keita deftly pulls one of the dango sticks out of the cart and drops it onto the grill. A small robotic arm slides out from the cart and begins turning the stick until the balls of rice flour are toasted brown colored. Lifting them from the grill, Keita dips the entire stick in a tub of sticky brown sauce before handing it to you. The snack has both a sweet and salty flavor, reminiscent of sesame seeds and soy. The balls inside are pleasantly warm and surprisingly chewy, a bit like eating raw dough, but without the attendant chalky taste. Keita leans back, studying you intently. The dango has a filling inside. Sweeping paste. The trid projections from his cart cause his face to be lit in a constantly shifting array of rainbow hues. So what brings you to Wampo Garden, my friend? I'm looking into the killing of the Wampo and elders. Keita shivers, wrapping his arms around his body. I've been hearing a lot about that. Haven't looked too closely, though. It's just none of my business, you know. What can you tell me about the people here? We're tech heads, deckers, riggers, trid pirates, and everything in between. If I had to define this place, I'd say it's Asia's mecca for people like us. As for the elders, I can give you the basics. I'm a small fry, so we're not exactly on social terms. Being some kind of crazy tech witch, she summons up spirits and casts spells and works as the spiritual center of the tribe. She's a lot craftier than she seems to. She has this mother to everyone act going on, but I've watched her manipulate people into doing all kinds of stuff they wouldn't normally do, and they thought it was their idea the whole time. Magically, you mean? No, I don't think so. She's just really good with people. Ip's a killer, addicted to cybernetic implants. He always has to have the newest and precious gear. Funny thing is, I've never seen him fight. Kind of get the impression he's a coward. He'd rather let one of his buddies handle a problem than do it himself. All I know about Tang is that he loves drones and does a little decking. Frankly, I find him kind of boring. All he talks about is neural networks, dark knowledge, and evolution of machine learning. Like I said, boring. What's with the trid screens? What's with all the trid screens? Kata beams and gestures excitedly at them. You like them? I love trid operas. Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, it doesn't matter. This way I can watch all my favorite shows without missing a beat, and I can work at the same time. Really? You don't have things like Netflix and such? Pirated trid is my other business. I rip the streams in the Matrix, tap right into the corporate feeds and resell them on chip out here. Kay's face falls a bit and his enthusiasm wanes. I wish I could pay the bills, but my food cart's a lot better at that. I don't know why, but most of the Wampoans seem to like sim over trid. They don't know what they're missing, though. One episode of 1,000 Cranes of Autumn and they'd be hooked for life, and I'm just at the part where Orin has Orin? Really? Orin? Has confessed her love to Takayama, but he's got to get his mech suit out to the front lines on Mars, so he can't be. What? Downright heartbreaking, I tell you. What? Orin the courtesan? What? Brain breaking. Okay, that sounds like an interesting show, all right. Eyes twinkling, Kata leans forward in breathless excitement. Oh, you have no idea. 312 episodes, chronicling a noble mech pilot and the tumultuous love affair he has with a space station governor's daughter. Ooh, that made me think you're the wrong Orin. Oh, that was a character somebody played. It might still be based off a real one, because that player really likes basing stuff on real things. The pathos, the majesty, the Battle of Lagrange 1 spans 5 episodes just by itself. Are we going to have you start talking about your minions and such, and sending drones into battle against ghouls and basilisks and corp guards? Anyway, going to move on. See you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to keep going on this a little bit, but can I save and leave at this point? No, I can't. So I'm going to finish this conversation, tack it onto the video, the previous one, and then I'm going to end this video because I'm running low on hard drive space. For some reason, I guess it just didn't resonate with the wider public. I don't know why. Who doesn't want to see a trid show about giant flying robots, love, betrayal, and spies? This actually sounds like a good show. And I'm looking off into my empty apartment away from the computer screen because I'm pointing at it and looking off as if talking to someone over my shoulder. I don't know why I did that, but I did. Was there something else you needed? Got any thoughts on the murders? Yeah, ignore them. Kay shrugs indifferently. I saw the crowd down at Tong's Sensory Carnival earlier tonight, but I didn't know the guy very well. I'm a Trid fan. He liked The Sims. Not a lot of crossover between us. See you later, Keita. Okay, so I think next time we'll be going into this parking garage. I believe we're probably going to have to get keys to the jack point at some point. That is optional. That is optional. Anyway, going to save and leave. Talk to you later.